Every morning, millions of people wake up, rush through routines, chase marks or money, and collapse into bed, only to repeat the same cycle next day. But pause for a second. Is that living or you are just existing? Because being alive isn't about how many breaths you take, but about how deeply you experience life. It's not about love, meaning, growth, or contribution. So, in this episode, I'm going to break it down why we explore what it truly means to be alive and how you can shift from simply existing to truly living. Okay, so hi, I'm Joshua Gonsalves, and in this podcast, I'll be telling you about what is the meaning of life, what is even being, what is the even meaning of being alive. Okay, so I have broken this podcast into many topics, not topics like take this like a you can take a lot of notes and then you can share the notes in the comments. Okay, so take a lot of notes and you can take this like a small nuggets, so you can take a note of that. So first I want to talk to you about happiness and success. Now happiness is something you don't care about. Happiness should, like, you don't care about success, right? Do you care about happiness? No, right? Happiness comes anytime. You don't think like happiness, I should get today happiness, then you get happiness. No. So happiness is like it comes anytime. So if you want, most people don't want happiness, they want success, right? So if you want success is like happiness. Okay? It must come to you. You just have to stop thinking about it. Okay? So that was because I was reading this book called Man's Search for Meaning, and in that book it is same thing is written, because success will follow you precisely because you had forgotten to think about it. Okay, now in that same book, like, I'm going to summarize all of that book, this books also which I'm going to read, I have read. So in that it tells you about the concentration camp and how the olden times people used to stay. What used to happen is they used to be taken by people used to fool them, and the workers used to be taken them by a train, and they used to get fooled. They used to make them fool and they used to make them work, and if people who are very weak, they used to just burn them, put them in the concentration. Okay? And they used to put them in the gas chamber, and they are gone. And they didn't know all of that. They thought that, and then they used to loot all of their money and all of these things. It's a summary, only 3-word summary of that in this entire book. But there are a lot of important things which I'll be telling you about more. Now, if you must have heard people taking drugs and this all things. If people are doing that, you know what is the meaning of that? They have lost faith, because in the same line in the book it was written that if you saw people who are selling all of this, they are only doing that, consuming that, it means that they have lost faith. People who make that, they're doing for business. But if they are only taking that means they have lost faith. Okay, people who are taking that means they have lost faith. I was reading this book called Moonshots, and that was written that hesitation. Okay, for every stage of life there needs to be a certain kind of hope. Okay, there needs to be a certain kind of hope. But when you hesitate, and even sometimes I also hesitate, even now I was hesitating sometimes, but every level of life right now, even if whatever stage you're in life, for every stage of life there needs to be a certain amount of faith. But in hesitation there is no faith, only option, and this hesitation is the death of hope. Okay, but people who consume all of those things, who sell them, they are only consuming, that means they have lost hope in their own life. Okay. Now there are many things which I want to summarize, but I can't summarize. I'll be talking to you about like in whatever comes to my mind, and if I can read in the books. I'm having my book in my hand only. If I have something important, then I'll tell you something. So what is happening is everybody is in a state like we call it a delusion of reverence, and before they used to burn the man in the gas chamber, okay, of that in that story of the book, they were immediately before they were burned, they were given an illusion that he might be revived at the very last moment, meaning he would be saved at the very last moment. They used to give them a feeling, and he used to believe that he had a lot of hope in the last moment, but it would be very bad. Okay, that they should just fool them, and they used to do this. And if like this also happens in our generations, in our own life also this happens. So solution for this is, you cannot ask like what should I do in life, because questions about meaning of life cannot be answered by even I tell you the statements and all. It cannot be solved. Okay, even if I tell you big sentences, even if I give you the speech and podcast, like I do this podcast is more like to reinforce what I have learned, and even if you can get value, that is good, right? So life does not, I'm just reading this line, life does not mean something vague, but something very real and concrete. Just as life's tasks are very real and concrete, they form man's destiny, which is different and unique of each individual. So that is very different. So you cannot, even if I swipe this statement, big statements, you won't get the answer to your questions. You have to just be a lifelong learner. Even I got a hoodie of lifelong learner just now, last week before, and I'm just wearing that. And there's something like if you have something, if you get some achievement, now let's say that this is called depersonalization. Okay, depersonalization, and everything that appears to be unreal, okay, it is unreal, it is like which is like unreal, okay, it is like a dream. But when you see a dream, okay, that is unreal, but when you're in a dream only, you feel that it is real. And when you get up in the morning and then you feel like, oh, this was so fake, I was in my dreams, then actually in real life that happens again, and then you still believe that this is a dream. This has happened many times in my life that I was in my dreams and like so nice thing happened, and like it was just amazing, and then afterwards I just got up and then it's like, oh, this is a dream. And then after some days, or even it takes years and months also sometimes, and that happens really in real life, and I'm still thinking like, oh, this happened, okay, fine, like my reaction is like, okay, fine, happened. That is the thing. This is called depersonalization, and this is also given in that book. And it is given that now the dream has come true, but could we truly believe it? Even I can't believe it. That happens sometimes to me also. That is the thing. And what is there? I want to talk to you like, if I want to go random, and even like many people in my age group, people are like, do this, and there was a survey conducted, and in the Hopkins University, okay, the Hopkins University, and I'm reading this line, and they were asked that what do they consider very important to them now, in the university, and 16% of students checked making a lot of money. 16%, only 16%, and 78% said finding a purpose and meaning of life. This is just like a survey that was done previously, and it is like no one tells you what you have to do. No tradition tells you what you have to do. Sometimes you only don't know what you wish to do. Instead, even not only you, even I. Instead, I either wish, even you and many of us wishes to do what other people do, or he does what other people wish him to do, even I to do. So like that is the thing. But you have to not let others' life run or rule your life. That is the main thing. Okay. Now there's a story like this in this book. I just saw this line. It is that a student asks his master, "What is the best move in the world?" There simply is no such thing as best or even good move apart from the particular situation in the game and the particular personality of one's opponent. Okay, it all depends on the opponent and many other factors. It all depends on some luck. Okay, it also depends on luck in a small way. And there is a beautiful line which says that I can't remember this line. This was live as if you are living for the second time, and act as if you were acted the wrong. And act as if you had acted the first time as wrongly as you acted now. Yeah, this is the correct. So in the present you have to live as if you have already done something wrong, and in the second time, okay, live now as if you have already done wrong something, and this is your second chance. Okay, and act as if you had already done something wrong and act next time how would you do it. That is the main thing. That is the meaning of this. And like success is like the more you strive for it, the more you would miss it. Okay, that happens. So you just have to stop. Success should happen. You just have to stop thinking about it. Even I should think like a lot, not only about studies, like many other factors in life. So you should not just think about it. When you think about that, you just stop. You just miss it. I'm just noticing that also. So just stop thinking. And what happens is, if we have we go through, because what comes easy is usually not worthwhile, and what is worthwhile is usually not easy. And if you go into a lot of pressure and pain and all, and because God will count all your tears and nothing will go in vain, because for every action is an equal opposite reaction. Okay, whatever you go through, you get an equal opposite reaction. Okay, it must not come from what you serve, but it must come to you from some place, because that is the law. Okay, and there is not much thing to tell you, I guess. There's one line like this: the person who attacks the problems of life actively is like a man who removes each successful leaf of his calendar and plays it neatly and carefully away from his procedure. It is like optimistic. The more you're optimistic, the more now this. And don't act as if you are like people like let me give you some example. Like you smile in a picture, right? That is like an artificial smile. You can do all of that, but don't act as if you're already successful even if you're not successful. Don't spend all of your, only you should spend expense only should be 70% of your income. 10% you should give for charity, 20% for debt. That is the thing. But if you're not following these rules, then you can, and I highly recommend that you read the book Man's Search for Meaning. Okay, it's a very good book, and almost like I finished it in 3 days. Okay, it's a small book. In 3 days I finished the entire book, and that is the thing. And I have noticed this, that when like when you are doing good, you are keeping on doing good. There's some point of time, even like last week, I was keeping on doing good, like following all my mentors guidance, whatever he said, everything I did. Then what happened is that doing good, what happens sometimes is that we get bored doing good, and this book is written. I'll just explain you that now. If you're going to sleep, let me give you an example. Okay, and if you keep on thinking, I want to sleep, will you sleep? No. So what do you have to do? Do the opposite of I have to sleep. Keep making yourself tired. Don't sleep. Try not to sleep. When you try not to sleep, you fall asleep. Okay, so the same way in the life. When you think, I want to succeed, you won't succeed. If you think, I want to sleep, you will not sleep. You'll not get sleep. Think, I don't want to sleep, and then you'll feel, go to sleep. Make yourself tired. Keep blinking your eyes. I don't want to sleep. Keep blinking your eyes and keep talking something else, get tired and you'll sleep. Right? So same way in success. Don't think, I want to succeed. Just think, I don't want to succeed. But doing that was sometimes it has a bad effect also, because I should keep on doing good, but this day I did this, I followed this. Then what happened is that this one sir was there, and because of doing this, he became very angry and had a relationship not spoiled, but it is like he is a good person. But what happened is, because of I should have not done this, but after reading this line in this book, I thought, let's send one more message today. And I sent a student a message of like, I have my community life. So I should have not done that, but I thought, like, let's do something bad, then I'll do good. Because doing good, I was feeling tired. Then your book will do bad, then you will get the bad return. Then you'll feel like, oh shit, I did bad. So I did bad. Then you'll feel like, no, I should have done good. So you'll feel the good is good, because when you should keep on doing good, you used to feel good is bad, right? So when you do bad and you get some negative feedback, then you feel that the previous version of me was very good. Okay, that is the thing. And if you're not a part of our community, okay, then what you can do is you can click the link below, because we're facing problem memorizing history, geography, science too. Okay, and this system I already used for 1 year, and it doesn't message results, like automatically tells what I study, what I revise. It automates revision by planning and scheduling. Okay, so if you're not a part of the community, you can just click the link below. You can register my webinar also. Okay, so and you get a link for the free resource and free course if you want to join, so you can get started faster. You can get a glimpse of what I'm giving in my community. Okay, so all the best, and see you in the next episode.